Good day everyone, and welcome to the most exciting episode uploaded so far of this new campaign. I would like to underline the word exciting, because the time of Operation Barbarossa, and whatever will come after this, has finally come. Still, the months preceding the greatest military operation in the history of mankind and Hearts of Iron 4 were exciting for me as well, as my preparations for war were far from being completed. Under the leadership of Field Marshal TN-92, the Red Army and the Soviet Union as well grew and developed on an unprecedented scale. Most likely the only non-Russian man able to convince Stalin about the need to modernize the Soviet state, he proved to be the right person for the right job. While many between politicians, generals, and officers were either silently disappearing from the scene, or after a fake trial, TN-92 was the one and the only from whom Stalin would have always had time for a discussion or a private meeting. It was under his suggestion that the local infrastructures were vastly improved to make sure that a proper flow of supplies would have reached the frontline troops. Under his personal supervision, Army and civilian engineer brigades began erecting a strong defensive line behind the main river courses that flow through Mother Russia. Even if TN-92 was not an engineer, nor had any engineering degree, most importantly, it was this great man to whom Stalin gave free rein in reorganizing the combat divisions of the Red Army. The results were impressive, as demonstrated by the surge of volunteers queuing outside of the recruitment centers spread all over the country, and by the quick retooling of the military industry captured with the liberation of Poland and of the Baltic states, as almost 130 new Mosin Nagant rifles were being produced on a daily basis. More and more rifle divisions were leaving their barracks to join the enormous Volga training camp, improvised out of nothing, as no other area of the Soviet Union would have had the space and the supplies needed to accommodate so many troops. Field Marshal TN-92 personally inspected the commander's assignment and the troops' deployment, making sure that, for instance, the 8th Army, composed entirely of mountaineers under the command of General Andrei Vlasov, were properly entrenched on every Caucasus pass. Even though Stalin personally believed that Japan would have trustfully respected the non-aggression pact signed in April 1941, TN-92 insisted on sending the 12th and the 21st Army along the Manchurian and Mongolian border. This left the future main front with almost no infantry reserves, but Field Marshal TN-92 reassured Stalin that this would have not been necessary. The newly trained armored divisions were just being assembled east of Stalingrad and featured 2 battalions of self-propelled guns, a powerful 122mm howitzer mounted on the chassis of the T-34 medium tank. What else would have been needed to punch through the future enemy lines held by second-rate Romanian and Italian troops? Still, despite all these positive aspects, Field Marshal TN-92 also committed his mistakes, being smart enough in not reporting them to Stalin. For instance, by ordering the simultaneous training of 24 armored divisions, he put under so much strain the tank factories in Kharkov and Stalingrad that more than 1.5 years would have been needed to fully satisfy the demand, without accounting for potential battlefield losses. The situation concerning production of military lorries was slightly better, with only 92 days required to produce the requested amount of vehicles. Furthermore, he kept repeating to everyone to get ready, as the imminent Axis invasion would have begun on June 22nd. As that day passed without any shot being fired, TN-92 was summoned to the Kremlin to have a personal discussion with Stalin about the matter. Afraid of being trialed and shot for spreading panic amongst the troops, TN-92 tried to buy enough time to delay his trip to Moscow, and just as he boarded the train that from Kazan was headed to the Soviet capital, he received the news that the Operation Barbarossa has just begun. It was July 9th, 1941,